Justin Fields. And the showdown will set a new NFL record for the largest age gap between starting quarterbacks. Shannon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how surprised are you that Brady is playing at such a high level at age 44?
2.
A 2?
Yeah, I'm giving him a 2.
2?
Yeah.
How can it be a 2?
Because I'm considering the team that he has around him. Do you believe Brady would be playing at this level if he was still in New England?
Whose fault is that?
No, it's not about whose fault. That's not. No, okay, right. Coach Belichick handled this poorly. And Mr. Kraft allowed Coach Belichick to handle this poorly. But the question was, if he had the same level of talent that they had last year and this year, do you believe Brady would be playing at this level? No, you don't.
I would think he would be very good still.
No, but Skip, the guy, hold on. He has 3 Pro Bowl receivers. His third receiver has 900 catches, which is Antonio Brown, who's been a many time first-team All-Pro. He has a 100th anniversary tight end in Rob Gronkowski. He has an offensive line that's easily top 5. So if I take Mahomes, Rodgers, Dak, Herbert, Lamar, Kyler, Matthews, Stafford, and put them in that situation, would they be just as good?
No, absolutely not. He is playing at a supremely high level. Pro Football Focus says through 6 games, Tom Brady has made 1 turnover-worthy throw, just 1.
But how many turnovers does he have?
Well, you canceled him out. You said, I'm not going to count that one because he tried a Hail Mary at the end of the half, and he threw one to Leonard Fournette that went right off his hands.
People at home, this is what I want you to understand. Think about this. Normally, when a guy turns the football over, they say the quarterback. Tom Brady's the only guy that can turn the football over. Tom Brady got sacked, fumbled the football.
Okay, we're talking about throws.
But Skip, you say turnover-worthy plays.
Yep.
How does a man getting sacked, fumbling the football, not a turnover-worthy play?
Okay. I'll give you that. Well, it was a turnover-worthy play because he lost the football.
But that's not what they said.
Okay, well, they're doing throws because he is a quarterback.
Okay, so he threw the Hail Mary. Was that turnover-worthy?
Well, you said it wasn't. You said you just throw it up for grabs. It's a 50-50 jump ball.
Skip, I said I understood what he was trying to do, and I admire him for doing that as opposed to taking the check down just to get his completion percentage up, because I see so many guys do that knowing they have no chance of that. But Tom Brady...
Okay, so he consciously tried to throw a turnover-worthy play.
Yeah, he did.
Where it could also go 50-50 for a touchdown, right?
Okay, but this is what Tom Brady is. He's #1 in pass attempts. He's 11th in completion percentage. He's 12th in yards per attempt.
Yeah. Guess what? He's #1 in yards passing. He's the only quarterback in the league over 2,000 yards already.
So let me ask you a question. So who do you think the leading rusher is in the NFL?
I don't care. We're talking about Tom Brady.
Derrick Henry, because he has the most rushing attempts. Okay. Who's the leading receiver in the NFL? The guy that has the most targeted attempts.
Well, it's because they're saying he is so good, I think I'm going to feed that beast, right?
So Tom Brady is Skip.
It's because he's the best. Okay, look at Pro Football Focus right now. I dare you. Your favorite website. Go to it right now and call it up and see grading system so far for quarterbacks in this league through 6 games. Tom Brady is graded #1 of all those quarterbacks. #1.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. They don't tell you how they get to any of these numbers. They just say, well, okay, this is the grade we have. Well, this is what this is. Can we see how you get to this? What are you evaluating? When you come up with a QBR, what do you do? Can we see some of the numbers that you use that go into it?
Because he's been almost flawless with his decision-making and his accuracy. That's what it is. And people at home, I want you to look very hard at this man across from me right now and ask him, maybe you could tweet him or IG him or however you want to do it, and say, who has tried to send Tom Brady home for 5 straight years on Undisputed? This man has.
No, Coach Belichick tried to also. You get mad at me. Well, what did Coach Belichick do?
He's not in the Hall of Fame. You are.
Oh, he's not going to be in the Hall of Fame?
Well, I guess he will, but not as a player. You were a player. You were a star, a superstar.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
And for 5 straight years, you said that's enough. He needs to go home, right?
Skip, but I was looking at it through the prism of him being in New England and what they had around him. Do you believe he could have prospered like he has the last 2 years if he's still in New England with a broken down junior?
I still think he'd be pretty good.
But he wouldn't be this. Am I correct? That's what the argument is. The argument isn't pretty good. The argument is this.
Okay, but he's 44 years of age. He is shattering the mold of a quarterback's longevity.
But he's already...
No one's come close to doing this. And on the scale of 1 to 10, impressive, you're saying it's a 2. You should... Given the fact that you've tried to send him home, you should say, this is a 9.
No, because he said it himself. Because they can't hit the quarterback, because the league isn't as physical as it once was, he's allowed to do these. He said now he might play till he's 50, 55. Maybe that's tongue-in-cheek, maybe it isn't. But you know the game isn't physical like it once was.
No.
You know you can't do the things to the receivers and to the quarterback that you once could.
Josh Allen say after his ill-fated quarterback sneak the other night at Tennessee?
Right.
He said, I don't really like to run quarterback sneaks because you really get hit hard on quarterback sneaks. Who's the greatest sneaker ever? Tom Brady, and he's still doing it at 44. When they need a half a yard, he just sneaks it.
Right, but Skip,
and he gets hammered.
But Skip, that's just because you do things. There are a lot. Skip, I didn't like going across the middle because those hits hurt. Because those collisions come in.
They will end your career.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So I didn't like doing it, but it's a part of the game. Skip, all I'm saying is that you look at the talent that he has around him. You look at the offensive line that he has, and they're allowing Tom Brady. Tom Brady is on pace to have more attempts than he's probably had at any point in time in his career. So what is that?
It's because you're flaunting what you have. He's the best at it.
Yeah.
He's the best decision maker. He's the best speed reader of a defense. He is the sweetest thrower of the football. I think he's a better thrower of the football than Aaron Rodgers. You say he's the greatest thrower
Don't
ever.
do that.
Well,
so you was doing
seriously.
good. You was doing that. You was having an okay argument.
Doing great.
No,
I'm doing better because I have never seen anyone throw more beautiful, catchable passes more accurately and consistently than Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr.
But shouldn't the guy that have the most pass attempts have the most passing yards? Isn't that how it equates?
Well, but you can only have the most pass attempts if it works, right?
Skip.
Bruce Harris is saying, we got to throw it, right?
Yeah. So he's
They're
throwing it.
5-1, right?
Let me ask you a question.
Is
so
it
where
working?
Are they rushing?
1-5?
Yeah, Skip, but hold on. He's 12th in pass attempts. So what does that tell you?
12th and what?
Yards passed per attempt.
Okay.
So that's not like he's throwing the ball like he's going bombs over Baghdad.
Guess who has the most air distance in the entire league? The most the ball has traveled down the field is Tom Brady.
Skip, you don't get
Sorry.
Skip, think about that. They put that stat in. So what is that? Guess who has the most fly ball outs in MLB? That ain't nothing to be proud of if he completing it.
I know, but you just said he's got the lowest or one of the lowest yards per attempt.
Yards
right?
per attempt, 12th in yards per attempt.
Okay, well, he's throwing it the farthest. They are bombs away, no risk it, no biscuit.
Let that sink in for just a second, what you just said. You said Tom Brady has the most air distance, but he's 12th in yards per attempt. So in other words, to get 12th with the most air distance is telling you there's a lot of screens, there's a lot of bubble screens, there's a lot of check downs. That's what that tells me.
Sure, he always does that. He's the master of all that.
Thank you
when
very
it's
much.
time to go deep, he can go deep like nobody can. Because you told me back in his final year in New England, I see his arm talent is declining. That's what you told me. I see none. I kept telling you, I don't see a drop off at all.
But let me.
And now we're to 44, and I think his arm's getting actually stronger.
But what you did concede is that he wouldn't be what he is in Tampa, in New England, with that level of talent.
Well, you know what happened the final year? The cupboard was so bare, they were dead last in the league in what's called separation among their receivers. They had the worst receiving core in pro football his final year. They still made the playoffs, right?
And so now,
that was maybe his greatest achievement.
So now Tampa has some of the best separation. So you can see what I'm saying, Skip. So, and see what you want to do, you want to make it all about Tom Brady. You don't want to give Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown. You don't want to give those guys any credit. You don't want to give the offensive line. It's all Tom, and it's not.
Are any one of those guys remotely as good right now as Devontae Adams is? Because I don't see it.
Skip.
I'm sorry, I don't.
It does.
Devontae Adams is just beasting on this league. I watch him, and he takes my breath away.
You do realize
he is unguardable.
Skip, you do realize there are a 4 or 5 year clip with Antonio Brown with every bit as good